Today, we're going to dive into a pretty big strategic shift that's happening for US CPA firms, and that's partnering with accounting experts in India. We're going to break down how this move can completely change a firm's efficiency and, honestly, its entire potential for growth.
So let me just ask you, does this question hit home? If you're anywhere in the accounting world, I'm betting you know this feeling. That constant nagging pressure to deliver more, do it faster, and, of course, with absolute perfection. It really is a relentless balancing act, isn't it? You're trying to keep clients happy, you're keeping up with regulations that seem to change every other week, and then there are just mountains of these incredibly detailed financial reports. It's a lot, and it's a constant drain on your most valuable resource, your time. We like to call this the CPA pressure cooker because that's what it feels like. And it's a systemic challenge where, just working harder isn't the answer anymore. What you really need is a smarter, more strategic way to manage the entire workload. And that's exactly why so many firms are looking at outsourcing. But let's be really clear about this. This isn't just about offloading a few tasks. It's a fundamental, strategic move to build a more resilient and efficient firm from the ground up. So, okay. If outsourcing is the answer, why are so many people looking specifically to India? What's going on there? Let's unpack what makes it such a powerhouse for accounting services. And here is the single most important point. The whole conversation around outsourcing has changed. A decade ago, it was all about one thing, saving money. Today, it's a strategic play. It's about getting access to top-tier talent and gaining the kind of operational flexibility that lets you run circles around the competition. So what does this Indian advantage actually look like in practice? Well, it really boils down to 4 key benefits that all work together. First, you get access to this incredibly deep talent pool that's already familiar with US standards. You're also cutting down on your operational costs. And the time zone difference, that can actually create a 24/7 work cycle. But the real game changer, the big one, is that it frees up your core team to stop focusing on compliance work and start focusing on high-value client advisory. And hey, while we're talking about strategy and talent, let's not forget the bottom line. We are talking about a potential cost reduction of up to 50%. I mean, think about that. That's transformative. That's money you can pour right back into new tech, new talent, and real growth for the firm. Okay, so the why is pretty clear, but that brings us to the really critical how. I mean, there are so many options out there. How in the world do you find the right partner to make this all work? This quote right here really gets to the heart of it. This is the modern way to think about outsourcing. You're not looking for just another vendor. You're looking for a true partner, a team that fits in so well it feels like they're just in the office next door. So here's your mental checklist. Does this potential partner really take the time to understand your unique way of doing things? Is their communication proactive and crystal clear? Is their data security completely ironclad? And maybe most importantly, can they grow with you? These are the absolute non-negotiables. Finding the right partner is half the battle, but the other half is building a successful long-term relationship. So let's look at the keys to making that actually happen. And this right here is your blueprint for success. It all kicks off with setting super clear expectations about scope and deadlines. Then you absolutely have to invest real time in proper onboarding. You've got to use technology to collaborate without a hitch, keep a steady rhythm of regular check-ins, and finally, you have to be willing to look at the process and adapt. Success in this is intentional. It doesn't just happen by accident. All right, let's shift gears a bit and tackle the big questions. We're going to run through the most common, most practical concerns that pretty much every firm leader has before they even think about making a move like this. And this is almost always question number 1, as it should be. Data security is everything in the accounting world. So how is your confidential information actually protected? Well, the answer is a multi-layered defense. Any reputable partner is going to use end-to-end encryption for all data transfers. They'll store your information on highly secure servers, and they'll enforce really strict confidentiality agreements with every single person on their team. Okay, the next big worry is usually about capability. Can a team that's thousands of miles away really handle the nuanced, complex work that your clients expect from you? And the answer to that is a confident yes, absolutely. With the right training and that deep talent pool we talked about, even specialized areas like fund accounting, which requires incredible precision, are handled with a really high degree of accuracy.
All right, let's get into the logistics. That big time zone difference, it can feel like a huge hurdle. How do you make collaboration feel totally effortless when your workdays don't line up perfectly?
Honestly, this is a solved problem. Smart firms use a few hours of overlapping work time for any real-time meetings. They lean heavily on tools like Slack or Microsoft Teams for those asynchronous updates, and they set up very clear rules for response times so that everyone is always in sync.
And the final practical question. Once you decide to pull the trigger, what's the actual timeline? How fast can you get this new engine up and running for your firm?
The good news is you can be operational surprisingly quickly. A typical onboarding process only takes a few weeks. That time is used to map out all your processes, transfer the necessary knowledge, and do some trial runs to make sure everything is humming along smoothly before you go fully live.
So look, if there's one single thing to take away from all this, it's this huge mindset shift. This is not about delegation, it is about integration. You're not just hiring a service to do tasks. You are gaining a dedicated, strategic team that is invested in your firm's success. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. With all the pressures mounting on CPA firms today, the question isn't just whether you can do this, it's whether you can afford not to. So, are you ready to unlock that next level?